What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Too Much Fantasy Football. It's Brian, it's Brennan, and it's a week of preseason in the books. We're here to talk about late round gems, searching for those players there at the end of your drafts that could really excel your teams. How are we doing today, man?
Doing pretty good. Doing better than I would say Rashawn Slater.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that one hurts. That one hurts. A guy that just signed one of the biggest contracts ever for a lineman, and then he goes in there and knocks himself out for the year. Chargers, I mean, they're not out too bad. They took Joe Alt when nobody wanted him to because they had a left tackle. Put him at right tackle, and now it sounds like he's probably going to swing back over there to left. So, what is your, I guess, just quick reaction here on Omari and Hampton? You might be the biggest Omari and Hampton fan at this point. Is he falling?
He's not, dude. He's not falling in best ball. Like he is continuously still going at like the 2-3 turn. It's super annoying. So like, no, everyone's still in Omari and Hampton just because everyone's out on Najee Harris. So
Yeah, the one-eyed wonder doesn't seem seem like he's going to be playing this week one. I mean,
mm-mm.
we're still 4 weeks out, so a lot could change, but it's not sounding necessarily optimistic for sure.
No, not at all.
Before we get rocking and rolling here, let's dive into just a bit more news here. We've got to talk about Anthony Richardson. Got blindsided, smacked across the face there. Pinky turned the direction it shouldn't. It is his right pinky. It's on the throwing hand there. Seems like all's going to be good. He is going to get some more reps because he missed out on this week one. It seems like that this team really wants to be able to give the job to Richardson. I don't know if they will just to give the job to him. I think that Daniel Jones has a good chance of winning it as well, but it seems like they're trying to make sure that he has an equal shot at this.
Yeah, I mean, we watched the preseason game and Daniel Jones didn't do anything to really separate himself. He went like 10 for 21, looked pretty bad. I mean, granted, it was a backup O lineman, but like still, like, take the easy throws. But you know who looked good though, Brian? Tyler Warren.
Oh, yeah, he did. That
Yeah,
guy, he could catch something in a somewhere. You know what I mean? That old
yeah.
saying that they say, that I'm excited. He's going to be. Is he leading this team in targets, do you think?
Dude, he was like wide open every single play, so I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Really excited for that. Hopefully, we have a quarterback that can toss the rock to him. Brandon Ayuk, week 6 is the target return date, is what we're looking at, huh?
Yeah, it just means I'm not drafting him. Like that's I don't. What are you gonna do with that? Like you're like unless you have an IR spot. I mean, like realistically, I would draft him at like week or not week round, like I don't know, 15, 16 if I had an IR spot, and then stash him in the IR spot, and hopefully none of my team gets injured. But we all know that works out, and then you got to choose between dropping Ayuk or that guy who just got injured. So
And historically, too, when guys come back for an ACL injury, when they come back on the field, it's 4 weeks of ramp up. Like, we don't get that. If they get back to a level that we're looking for, it could take up to, like, it's that 4 week mark that you're looking. So we're talking week 10, but before we really see meaningful snaps from this guy, it's not worth it. Maybe you go pick him up after the guy that has been picking him up and dropping him and getting frustrated with that. Maybe a trade for him on the cheap, but I don't think that he's going to be that much of a difference maker that I'm going to prioritize him in any shape or form.
yeah, I think he's just undraftable at this point.
Let's do. I mean, other injuries? What do you have for us?
Other injuries, well,
Tajay
Jaden
Spears, I
Reed.
guess.
Yeah,
Oh, there
Tajay
you go.
Spears had a high ankle sprain. They say he's week to week. So obviously Tony Pollard is just going to jump up in ADP. It's just natural how all that regresses here. And then Jaden Reed was in a walking boot at the first preseason game. So Matthew Golden has for sure trumped him a few spots in that wonderful San Francisco Green Bay area of the draft.
And as we talked in our camp battle episode, I don't know how much it matters though. I think that the inconsistencies will still be there enough that it just can be Tucker Craft.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat with you right now at this point.
What other injuries do we have here?
Let me see here. Matthew Stafford is was supposed to practice today, and then he didn't feel right. My level of concern now is probably at a 5 out of 6 out of 10. It's I mean, granted, week one's about 3-4 weeks away. Puka and Devontae have definitely just knocked down a little bit on the spots for my rankings. Just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but
Yeah, they
still,
may still be in the same tier that they were, but they're the last guy in that tier now.
yeah.
the worry is growing. Just a little bit of camp. We are out of preseason week 1, so just if you guys want to throw out there, Rico Dowdle, him and maybe even Trevor Etienne. It looks like they will be eating into Chuba Hubbard's passing workload a little bit. I think I'm going to get Chuba Hubbard a little closer to 20 to 22 in my rankings. That's kind of been the growing inkling that I had just based off last year. Anyway, thoughts on that?
I mean, I've been drafting a ton of Rico Dowdle in best ball just because I feel like he is the
Nice.
guaranteed RB2. I figured as much. I mean, Chuba, they paid him well. I still feel like he's not I feel like he's like a fringe bell cow type of back. I feel like he's going to get a lot of the work, but I also feel like he needs someone to kind of counter it. And I think Rico Dowdle, obviously last year was pretty good as an RB, not as an RB1, so to speak, but he was good as a running back. So I think he's going to carve out a little bit of a role in this offense. And they paid him that way. So, I mean, yeah, I still like Chuba where he's going. I think there's some guys like a little bit ahead of him, but like Rico doesn't really scare me away from from Chuba though.
Nice. Travis Etienne, he played every offensive snap on the first drive for the Jags. A little different than what we've seen in practice, with Tank Bigsby getting a majority of the work there. Bashal Tutin also had that great touchdown run in there. So we talked about this group some on the Camp Battles episode. How are you developing as far as that? Does that mean like, shoot, maybe all this is just like smoke and mirrors, and is going to be the guy?
I'm on the assumption Etienne is the guy until it is proven that Tootin or Tank Bigsby is just light years ahead of him.
I love it. I love it. Chikukonkwo, I think that I am growing some love for this guy. As far as looking for a late tight end streamer, he's probably going to be number 2 in targets on this team. Like I think I'm there with him at this point.
I mean, I don't think he's going to leave the field much. I think he's like going to be there at least in 90% of snaps played. So yeah, he's going to. It's just unfortunately rookie quarterbacks just don't look towards the tight ends for whatever reason. I don't get it. It should be like a nice little safety blanket, but it's not the case. So I don't hate it though. Like honestly, if it's just like you punted and I think he's going to be talked about a lot on waiver wires for tight ends.
And then the last guy I want to bring up here, Rashad White sustains a groin injury, expected to be out 2 to 4 weeks. Sean Tucker as well he's getting some buzz from the coaching staff here. So we saw this Bucks offense kind of function well with 2 running backs. I mean, that kind of puts Sean Tucker more in like the double flex category than the flexible player, but late round dart throw. I mean, is he going to be brought up later on in the show?
Not by me, just because like I again like I think Todd Bowles is just really weird with what he does as running backs. Like I mean, clearly Bucky should be on the field a ton. Can he sustain that? Not sure. Rashad White played really well last year. I think he finished as RB24, if not mistaken, even with like Bucky taking over. And then Sean Tucker's just going to randomly sneak in with some goal line rushes. I again like I think Bucky's rated properly right. I think Rashad White will come back and be okay, and then Sean Tucker's going to be a flash in the pan on some certain weeks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Alrighty, let's get rolling into or I guess, do you have anything else before we go into our
No, I don't have anything else.
late
Let me
round
see.
gems? All right, we'll bust out that treasure map. Let's find these gems. Yeah, that's right. We're going full National Treasure style here. We're ready. We're digging out. We're going to the back of the Declaration of Independence to look for the cheat codes, to find those late round gems, those difference makers, those guys that push your team up on over the edge. And Brennan, go ahead and start us off, man. What you got there?
All right, so I'm going to go with the guy that I think he's just not getting enough buzz. I think it's more so the fact that it's just he's on the worst team possible. And a little bit of a sample of like week 7 to week 9, he finishes the wide receiver 14, 3, and 16, and then unfortunately got hurt. I mean, he's going so late. It's literally, if I'm looking at this correctly, he's round 15 in sleeper. So he's basically free, and he's a chance to be, I mean, number 2 in targets, potentially number 1, just because this team is so bad. And obviously, Shooter Sanders had a really good game in the preseason. Now the hype's building up around that, but I genuinely believe that Cedric Tillman could be at least 2 in targets, and he will be on the field a ton with his team playing from behind.
Yeah, that stretch, that 14, 16, and number 3 finish from Cedric Tillman, it's the fun you look for from your streaming things, your waiver wire players that you had last year. My biggest issue is the quarterback play. Like, how many games is Joe Flacco going to get? Is he going to be the Joe Flacco that we got last year in Indy, or is he going to be the guy that we got 2 years ago here in Cleveland? Because I don't doubt this was my biggest issue, I guess, with Judkins and some of the running backs coming into the season was how off. I know this team wants to run the ball, but how often are they going to be able to run the ball? I think they're going to be throwing it. They're going to throw it probably the third highest rate or somewhere in there, the top three highest rate. So it all makes sense, but I don't see him outpacing Ninjoku in targets or outpacing Jerry Judy in targets. So at that point now I'm taking a third receiving, the third reception option on a team that is hot garbage.
Fair. I completely understand that. It's all fair, fair assessment. I just think the fact that like I'm looking for something at the very end that is just like what is like the highest possibility of thinking? Like what is like if there was a magic ball and you could read it, like if it's like what could I see his high ceiling as being? And we've seen it already. So that's why I go for guys like that. I'm just like, you know what? I think he's better than Jerry Judy. He's shown flashes of it already. Like I'll go for it. Why not? And at the end of the day, Brian, week 3, I'll drop him. That's it.
That's the beauty about all of these players, folks. Even if they absolutely come out and do nothing in week 1, they can do something by week 3, week 4, week 5. But you don't have to wait to find out. You can find out once they hit the waiver wire. But I think you bring up a good point in that where you're getting him, who he's going around, he has the highest ceiling. Josh Palmer potentially could be the number 1 receiver on that team for a bit, with the Shakira injury, but there's no ceiling. Xavier Legette, no ceiling. Quentin Johnston, he'd just drop it if you found a ceiling. Romeo Dobbs, I think, is a great floor PPR play. Demario Douglas, same thing. Wan'Dale Robinson, same thing. But none of them offer me that ceiling that I think Cedric Tillman could bring you. All right, I'll allow it. I think we'll let it pass this time.
All right, thank you. All right, Brennan, see who your guy.
Well, let me start then on my side then with the wide receiver. I'm gonna go with T. Higgins. Oh wait, no, he's going way too freaking early. Way too early. So we'll keep the last name and we'll go with Jaden Higgins. How about that? Yes, okay. 2nd round pick for the Houston Texans. Going as on average right now, wide receiver 53, going around 10, he's going at 10-12 in sleeper, 1206 on ESPN. So again, this is a late guy, somebody you can drop if need be. He's going to be out there. This is the guy that's going to be out there in 2 wide receiver sets. He will be on the other side of Nico Collins. Nico Collins, who was lighting the world up, bringing in all sort of attention. Jaden Higgins won't be plugging in directly to that Stephon Diggs role, but last year we saw Diggs and Collins go hand in hand, work functionally, while also having a running game with Mixon. Now you're telling me Mixon's hurt. This the team's just not going to be good at running the ball this year. The offensive line's bad. I think they're going to have to throw from behind in a decent amount of these games, despite this defense being pretty good. So Jaden Higgins just seems as kind of a similar situation to Cedric Tillman in that I think they're going to be throwing the ball a whole lot. I just think the quarterback's better. Just a little bit safer. Granted, you're paying more than you are than Cedric Tillman, but it's kind of that same lens of what we're looking at as far as situation-wise.
He's going round 10, right? Round 9?
10. He's going as the last pick in the 10th round on Sleeper. He's going as 12-8 in ESPN, so even later there.
Discounts. Just gotta love the discounts. No, I liked him. I thought they invested heavily. He was their first pick in this draft. Obviously, they traded back, but the fact of the matter is, like, he was first on their board, so they very much valued him that way. I am afraid, though, that this offensive line is, like, a lot worse than we realize.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just going through it and reading the names and just like, I have no idea who any of these guys are. Like, they don't have like a premier anybody at any position. Like, it's one of those things where you're just like, will Stroud be the most sacked quarterback in this league?
Top 3, top 5, at least, if not number 1.
I definitely think he's going to get the volume. I also think, though, that it could be a slow burn.
Yeah,
I think when I say that, it's because there's a guy named Christian Kirk who is going to be playing in the slot, and I think he might feast a little bit, and it might take Higgins a little bit of time to get adjusted to some things. But I still like Higgins, though. I think he's going to be one of those guys we'll be talking about week 2, week 3. It's like, he's got like 4 or 5 targets, maybe not a touchdown here or there. Like, what are we doing with him? But I think it's just going to take him some time. But I do think he's worth the hold, though.
Which, yeah, I like the 12th, 11th, 12th round pick there, Yahoo, ESPN over the sleeper pick in the 10th, just because I think that, yeah, you could take you a few weeks before you really get to see, everything come together. He is a rookie. Usually you look at the second half of the season for the rookies, but in this situation, like I said, he is going to be out there a lot, especially in two wide receiver set, so I think he's a great dart throw. Or
Absolutely.
late round Jim, sorry.
All right. I'll stamp it. I'll allow it.
Okay, shoo. Oh, sweating that one, folks. Give me number 2.
All right. You know
Drop
what's
number 2
funny
on
is,
me.
dude,
No,
it's
that's...
actually kind of funny because I'm going to talk about the same team. It's Dylan Sampson.
Are you really? I saw you had 2 up here on the list. I was like, are
I
we
know,
really going
it's
double Browns
crazy.
here?
Yeah, so like obviously before the unfortunate news of Judkins, I'm under the assumption that Judkins might miss at least 8 games, and then on top of that, he's got to get acclimated back into the team, sign his contract. Another thing, like there's so many things that are just weighing against Judkins at the sits right now, and Dylan Sampson's going as like the 14th round, and it's a coin flip between him and Jerome Ford. They invested in the 4th round with him. So it's not like he's not like a
Early.
6th round. Yeah, it's an early pick.
Yeah.
He had 22 touchdowns in the SEC for Tennessee. So, like, for me, when I think of this, I'm just like, I can get an RB1 in double digits. And if he sucks, he sucks. But, like, I can punt on it. He's going around 14. I can kind of move off of it if it is Jerome Ford. But at the end of the day, like, Stefanski likes to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And
they drafted 2 running backs. Like,
yeah,
they wanted to run the ball.
Exactly. And he's got a little bit of catching in his profile. And like, so for me, like I look at this, I'm just like, this is somebody that you can find. Again, week 3, I can drop him if he's not good, but if he's, somewhat competent, you'd be talking about him as a potential league winner, as weird as it is saying that about Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, just being it, because, I mean, you look at the guys he's going around. Jaden Blue, who gets some love on the show, but not necessarily looked at as an RB1 right now. Ray Davis, I like the talent, but he's the backup. Trey Benson, backup. Rico Dowdle, backup. Tyler Algier, backup. He's going around that realm, but it's only because we don't know if it's going to be him or not. But he has a higher chance of getting that RB1 role over any of those guys that I just named, just based on opportunity alone. It's him and going against Jerome Ford, who's like, they're literally RB 49 and 50 in average consensus right now. It's pretty funny. Oh my god. So are we done talking about the Browns?
I mean, unless you have somebody else you want to mention.
All right, fine. Let's talk Joe Flacco. No, I'm just kidding. David Njoku doesn't go quite late enough to get in that conversation. Goodness, I can't believe we just double browned it. I'm okay with it. I'll stamp it.
That's all right. You just got to flush first, then wipe after.
All right, let's go ahead and hit another running back then. A guy who, he's my number 2. It sounds like number 2. It's Tootin. It's Bashaw Tootin. He is going as the RB 45, so just before Dylan Sampson here, going anywhere from round 11 and 12 to all the way in 15 in ESPN. So I think that's where I'm really looking at him. Again, that one of those last picks in the draft. We just kind of touched on a little bit here. We don't know what's going on. Travis Etienne may be the guy. Tank Bigsby may just steal enough touchdowns to ruin this whole situation. But what I saw, Tootin going out there and just having... Look, he can do it. He can get it done. He has the pass-catching chops to get that done. We saw it between the tackles. They're down at the goal line, him and the team pushing in that preseason game to get the score, lead up to a 70-yard field goal. Like, that was wild. You saw that too? Was it Tank Bigsby that kicked the field goal?
No, it was somebody else.
Back.
It was a backup. Ray Davis, I think.
Ray Davis, maybe. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It was some backup running back.
It's like the emergency kicker, which honestly, off subject here, but I think head coaches should do that more in preseason. Like, I know my kicker can make a 30-yard field goal. If he can't, then what are you doing here? But, like, if you go down, I need to see if my punter can make it. I need to see if my kicker can make it. Like, I'm kind of surprised that, like, they don't practice that more, like, in these preseason games.
I 100% agree. I think that, what's wrong with that? Because it's, like you said, it's a field goal. It's not exactly the hardest kick. Like, I've seen guys literally just, they don't do the run-up. They're just standing there and swing the leg. And they're usually semi-accurate there from the field goal range. So
That's what I'm
I'm on
saying.
board with
Like,
that.
and kudos for the Jacksonville to go for some. I just like, I want to see your distance. I want to see how far. You tell me you can make a 70-yard field goal here. Go prove it to me.
Right. Well, you want to see a 70-yard touchdown. Bashaw Tutin's got the speed to do that.
Oh,
Another
jeez.
reason I just like kind of like shooting that shot at him. He's got that home run hitting ability, and that's what I want here in the late rounds. Because I'm going to find out really quick if I'm going to be able to get that from him here in the beginning, or if I need to drop him and go pick up, you know, Jerome Ford, who didn't get picked up because Sampson was drafted, or Rico Dowdle, who was overlooked and he's still sitting there. So Bashaw Tutin is one of my running back gems that I'm looking at.
I don't hate it. And I think, okay, so if he doesn't score that touchdown, does he steal your gem?
Yes, because I made the list before we watched the game.
Hmm. Okay. Just wanted to
It's
check.
just it's purely upside. It's purely
Yeah,
upside.
no, I'm
Um,
messing with you, but yeah, no, I completely I agree. I think there is a chance that he can be the guy, and you're getting him for nothing. Like you're spending zero equity really to where you can drop him for a waiver wire when like the one dude for on Thursday Night Football for the Cowboys Eagles gets 2 touchdowns as a random wide receiver, and then you go pick him up. So
Number three, who do you have?
that's funny enough. You say number three. He's actually the third in his family
Oh boy.
lineage. It's Calvin Austin the third. Again, he is going at pick 2012 in sleeper. 19.4 is their average ADP cost. So basically, he's undrafted. But
Yeah,
Brian,
goodness.
Brian, he
Oh
is the
boy.
wide receiver 2 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But is he the number two target for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I don't know who it is, but I'm just telling you, for me, how it is, how I look at it, right? I actually liked his games last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that was with Russell Wilson throwing the football. Like he had some games, like he had a stretch, I think, from weeks 15 to 17, he had 5 targets, 5 receptions, 65 yards twice. I mean, he's done it a few times. He's kind of a burner. Again, I still think Aaron Rodgers has something in him, right? I think there's a little bit of juice left. He made Devontae Adams viable. He made Garrett Wilson viable. I'm telling you, there's got to be somebody on this team besides DK who's probably going to lead the team in targets for 1 through 3. So we're looking at the fourth and option, really. And I think it could be Calvin Austin. I had hopes for Roman Wilson. I really did. But for whatever reason in camp, it just sounds like he is just a potential just dirtbag. Like it's the best way to put it. Like I there's just like he has like work ethic issues. I don't know what it is. Like literally, I try to find anything about Roman Wilson. I can't. He's just not really doing all that well in camp. But Calvin Austin is going to be rested for this game, along with all the other veterans. So clearly, they value him in such a way where they're like, all right, we don't need to really utilize him. So again, he is undrafted. You're getting him super late. I just keep an eye on him.
Just sneak a peek, Maybe
Yeah.
something worth that. Yeah, I get that. I get that. All right. Well, I kind of I was gonna throw this player kind of as a joke as late as he was going, but now I'm gonna jump into it a little bit. Torrey Horton for the Seattle Seahawks, going 2 spots actually before Calvin Austin, going as wide receiver 84. I mean, we saw some magic happen last year with MVS in 3 games before it all unraveled there with the Saints. But we've got the OC old Kubiak there with MVS, the magic he had with the Saints. Now he's up there in Seattle. We have 2 wide receivers. We get Cooper Cups there, JSN, but they need a burner. So what do? They brought MVS up there, so I thought I was going to be best balling it. No, it looks like Torrey Horton actually might be that guy. We just saw a play from him in the preseason. Just absolutely got loose, opened it up. I think that this guy has a chance. Now, again, this is late, folks. This is if you were in a 12-team league, maybe you're even starting 3 wide receivers. Very, very late. This will probably be closer to a waiver wire pickup or a DFS play in a lot of it. But you know what? Right now, I am all in on this Kubiak offense. I'm trying to stay away from as much as I can because I'm overhyping it. But I'm excited to see what this kid can do.
He is definitely a part of that hype train. That the highlight reel is fun to watch. He's definitely got the camp hype for him. I mean, he could realistically be the wide receiver 2 for this team because Cooper Cup, I mean, he's over the age of 30. We don't know really what's left in the tank for him. I don't hate it. I really
And
don't. Like
Sam Darnold's deep ball was like kind of the what was popping so much with his offense last year. You know, we saw Jordan Addison take what 8 touchdowns to the house last year. A lot to do with some of those deep balls that he had.
True. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it honestly, and the fact that it's just like the last round, like you're literally your last round, you can just go through the list and pick a guy, and guess what? You'll probably be dropped. But at the end of the day, like if he's getting run with the ones and he might be on the field week one, he might be a little bit effective. Like why not take a chance on him?
I think I got an approval stamp, folks.
You do get
Bam!
approval stamp for that one.
Woohoo! All right, show us some more magic. What do we have?
All right. For me, I'm pivoting towards my other guy. I meant to add him, but it just happened to fall apart here. So my other guy, he is currently going in the 12th round. So sleeper it's 1103, ESPN it's 1212. He is currently tight end 16 on most people's. It's Jake Ferguson. Uh,
Ooh,
when you look
Ferguson, huh?
when you look at some of the names that are ahead of him, right? Like Dalton Kincaid's ahead of him for whatever reason. I don't know if they're just hoping that he pans out as a first round pick. Tyler Warren, who I like, he's really good. But again, it's a rookie. Colson Loveland, again, a lot of mouths to feed in Chicago. Dallas Goedert, again, he's the fourth, fifth option. Jake Ferguson, I feel like, is going to be the third option. But the difference between a lot of those guys I said is that they don't have a run game. It's Javonte Williams running the football, and they're going to have to play from behind. I genuinely believe this team is going to have to throw the ball out. I think Dak, this will be the closest year we'll see Dak getting to like at least for sure over 4,000 yards. I mean, almost could be touching 5,000 just because how much sheer volume he's going to have to throw. And I want a little bit of piece of that.
Everybody wants a little piece of that.
Yeah, I'm a fat guy. Everyone likes a little slice of the cake, all right?
Just a taste. Just a
That's
taste.
right.
I'm here for it. Whether it's him or Javonte Williams, no matter who it is, I do think there is going to see a good amount of work in the passing game when it comes to the running back position. So it could be Javonte for a few weeks and then Blue, finally cements himself and takes it over. Who knows? Who knows how this pile will be cut? Either way, I know I want some of that action because when a running back's going this late, it probably means there's going to be some value to be had.
Yeah, and you're also getting him so late to the point where like it's not going to hurt you if you have to cut him for another tight end because again, the tight end point discrepancy between these guys are literally within like points, like 1 to 2 points each. It's nothing where it's going to cost you anything for the season. You can move on if it's not going well, and you can pick up like Brian said, Mr. Little Chickakongwo here.
Yeah, I'm completely on board with it. Um, Jake Ferguson, huh? Jake Ferguson. All right, all right. My last one, I was going to go for as far as the skill positions there. Let me go quarterback here.
Okay.
Let me go J.J. McCarthy is who I'm looking at here. It's somebody I think that there's so much potential. Like the potential here is just uncapped. We saw Kirk Cousins absolutely destroy it there in that offense. We've heard the stories of the Mullins that goes there and still performs well. Sam Darnold made so much money because of Kevin O'Connell and that offense. I just don't think that there's a reason we shouldn't see J.J. McCarthy, who has wheels-ish, maybe 200-ish yards that we might see. So nothing groundbreaking, but, just a little bit where maybe it'll keep him from getting in trouble. The offense is beefed up. The offensive line is. The running game's primed to work. He's got a great pass-catching running back. 2 awesome wide receivers, a tight end who will now be on year 2 off of the ACL. Just another chance to grow right there. So I think that J.J. McCarthy has a beautiful chance of beating his ADP. And where you take him, that is streaming category, folks. So if you don't like the matchup and you want to move on, you pick him up in 3 weeks when you're ready to use him again. But I think that this guy is one of these few players that you can get this late. I don't have him there actively. I did for a little bit, but I pulled him out of my top 12. But he is right there ready to bust into that top 12 ceiling for me.
Yeah, he's going like 1209, basically almost 13th round. So basically it's just
QB 19 on average.
yeah. And I'm looking at the guys that are ahead of him, right? So like there's like certain guys that are like I think they're both kind of in the same boat. Like Jordan Love, I think can definitely do pretty well. Caleb, I think him and Caleb are kind of in that same boat of like great offense, great head coach. Let's see it. Let's see the magic. But it's guys like Jared Goff, Justin Fields, Herbert, where like the offense is kind of structured a little differently. I definitely think if you take someone like the Fields, the Goff, or the Herbert, McCarthy's someone I'd want to take as well, just because like if they don't pan out, and I know this kid who's got a top 3 head coach who has made everybody look great in fantasy, I'm all for it. And again, it's just he has the, and it's just like he's obviously Caleb was in a really good position last year with the weapons. I would argue that JJ McCarthy's just in the same boat with the weapons wise. He's got 2 competent running backs, a top 5 tight end, the best wide receiver in football. If you want to say second best to make yourself feel better, go for it. A complimentary piece in Jordan Addison. They've spent a 4th round pick in another wide receiver, and they spent a ton of money in the offensive line. Like, if JJ McCarthy sucks, it's because he actually sucks. It's not because of anything else. It's so like I think all the pressure on him.
And he could still be good even if he does suck. Even if he's not actually a good quarterback, he can still be good, a la Sam Darnold. You know, like that's kind of the beauty.
I would say Sam Darnold was good for 15 weeks and then just crap the bed. Would you agree?
I guess
because he crapped down his leg
for sure. But like we had years of seeing before.
Oh,
you know what I just mean. Like
I know.
A culmination of it because we still don't technically know if he's fixed or if that was just the Kevin O'Connell thing. We'll find out this year. I think he's in a great system.
I'm in agreement with that. Yes, I definitely agree with that.
So yeah, it's just I think it's kind of a win-win situation. Even if you're wrong, I don't think you'll really be wrong. I think it's going to be outside of injury. He will not fall or finish below his ADP. I just don't see how it's possible.
If he plays all 17 games, he beats QB 18. I agree.
Yeah, he blows it out of the water. Yeah, I think it's way closer to QB 14 to 16, and that's without him being great.
Yeah, he'd be in the hunt for like being a QB1. He'd be really, really close, and we'll be talking about him next year, saying like, "Oh my gosh, the weapons, he did good. He's should take a second year leap, everything else like that."
Nice. All right, your last guy. Who's it going to be? Is it a Cowboy?
It is a Cowboy. I was on the fritz of this.
God. Okay. I made the mistake earlier. I thought you were talking about him earlier when I brought up the Javonte thing, and I was like, wait a second. No. We're talking about Ferguson here. What am I doing? So you're literally going 4 of the 5 players you're talking about are coming out of Dallas and Cleveland. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm on the same page. Go ahead, give it to me.
Hey man, you got to find you got to turn a turd into a rose somehow, and it's you got to find these late gems.
Yeah,
like I said before,
it's still a turd.
It's true, but sometimes you can polish it and make it look a little pretty. You can't do that with Javonte Williams because, again, folks, Javonte Williams is running with the RB1s. He's running with the ones. It's
fired.
Great. Don't care. Hey, Brian, do you think it's possible to be on the goal line carry and get 4 carries and get a negative yard? Because Javonte Williams did that last year.
Yeah.
With one of the best offensive lines in football.
He had a rookie quarterback back there. Didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah. Bo Nix was awful in that stretch.
He's only got a few starts under his belt, so.
So my pick is Jaden Blue. It's Jaden Blue, and why I say it's Jaden Blue is because I'm a believer that this team is not going to be able to run the ball. Once they figure out that Javonte Williams can't run the football, right? They're going to have to throw the ball, and they have to have a guy in there that can catch the football, and that is what Jaden Blue is. Jaden Blue is perfect for a pass-catching role. He can also run between the tackles. He's from the University of Texas. I've seen a lot of their games. And there was, some rumbles in the beginning of the year from some random coach that was a part of the Cowboys program 10 years ago and said he's not serious. And then all of a sudden camp comes out and he's been great. Yes, he's a little bit of an injury right now. He's going to be sitting out the first week of preseason, but it's nothing serious. Again, I am a full believer in Jaden Blue. Again, I need my sound clip, Brian. Where's my boy? My boy Blue. I need it. I need it sat. But again, he's going in around 1309 ESPN and 1207 in Sleeper. Like, again, a guy that if he doesn't pan out well, I can move off of, and it's somehow Javonte Williams. Or, honestly, I probably think it's Miles Sanders that could probably be over something Javonte Williams had to pick one. I don't think it's Javonte Williams, though.
Okay, now we're just being hurtful. Now we're just picking on the guy.
What's our bet again with Javonte Williams? Do you think he's going to be good? What's
top 24 first 6 weeks?
Oh, yeah. This is going to be good, folks. Dude, Will Shipley could probably outplay Javonte Williams.
Good. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm going to message Javonte on Instagram right now. Just make sure he knows the stakes.
He might go backwards when he fucking tries to type it out, too, instead of going forward. He'll probably backspace it.
Oh, with all the Javonte slander there, yeah, I want to bite of this offense. I want to bite. I think this defense is going to be bad. I think the offense is going to be good. We kind of talked about that with our George Pickens takes as well. So with how late he's going, yeah, give me some. Let me take into this. And this might be a guy maybe I don't even draft. Maybe I wait till he gets dropped after week 1 or week 2 because people just don't know. We don't have the identifying markers there. Pretty sure the Dallas starts off with the Eagles in week 1 anyway, so that
Yes,
could be a struggle.
I would be for the Cowboys schedule. I think I meant to look at it, but like the schedule's pretty. So they open with Philly. It's the Giants, who again I think they have a top 5 front seven at worst. Like
Hmm.
so that could be tough too. Chicago again, not terrible. The Green Bay, Jets, Carolina, Washington, Denver. Like your schedule is kind of interesting. So he might be a second half sleeper where it comes to
Maybe I
go
want to
fast.
take back that Javante bet. I didn't leave the schedule in
Yeah, you
consideration
didn't
on
look at
that
their
one.
schedule, did you?
Not at that point. All
No,
right,
you
folks, I'm going to
didn't.
cheat. I am going to cheat with my final late round guy because you know what? I couldn't decide between like 3 players right now. And honestly, one of them I thought you were going to pivot to, so I have to bring him up. But we're going to go with 3 pack of rookie running backs here. Rookie running backs that are in pretty decent looking situations. So we're going to start off with Houston running back Woody Marks. Things are not looking good
I
for
like
Joe
that pick.
Mixon. Things are looking bad, and kind of again leading into my Higgins argument. I think this team's going to throw a lot. And what does Woody do? He is a great pass catching back. I believe he had one of the highest set of peripherals coming out of college for these running backs. So
Yep.
I think he's a great one. Rashard Smith is going to be number 2. We're getting all sorts of McKinnon hype. I've even heard hype that they're trying to bring in another running back because
They want to put him in the
what
slot.
what Brashard Smith is going to go in there and fix is pass catching problems, not the running back issues. So, but Brashard Smith, I think that we saw greatness from McKinnon. Like McKinnon was giving us more top 5 weeks than we've seen any running back give us outside of Kareem Hunt's rookie season.
Yeah,
So
honestly, it was kind of insane.
it was wild. And then last one I want to bring up here, JCM there, Ja'Cory Krosky Moret.
Bill,
Yeah,
Bill.
Bill. We're gonna get that soundbite too. But yeah, a little Bill action there. It looks like
He
the
was my
third
notes.
stringer for the Commanders. This running back. Look, we all came out of the draft saying, "Wow, Brian Robinson came out unscathed.
I
Looks like
know.
him and Eckler are gonna be okay." All of a sudden, this kid's come out of nowhere over the last couple of weeks. So, ADP right now, he's barely even drafted in most redraft formats, but in the next 2 weeks, we could probably see him sneaking into 14, 13, 12, something like that, just as like, one of those late bench running back ads. And I think this is going to be a great one to put on there. Cliff Kingsbury uses the crap out of a running back. And there's no draft capital tied to Brian Robinson. Like, there is no true, like, regime that they're really holding
It's a
on to
new
with that.
GM who didn't draft him.
Hmm.
He was drafted in like the 4th round or 3rd round. He doesn't really
It was
have
day
pass.
3, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't have pass catching skills. So like, it's not like someone they can completely want to spend money on. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about Brian Robinson. I still think he's going to roll out there week 1 and be the starter. But again, they're talking about like him as like a Bucky Irving kind of hype, which is kind of scary.
And Brian Robinson already, like you said, there's no pass catching chops added to it. So he's kind of touchdown or bust almost anyway. So
Hmm.
it's a reason we weren't talking about this backfield very much. I mean, I think all we've really talked about is Ben Daniels on this team this year. And of course, the tight end room. But outside of that, wide receivers and running backs haven't really interested me on this team this year.
Yeah, I think Brian Robinson's going to have a very, very short leash with him if this camp hype is real. So I'm a little nervous for all my Brian Robinson stock in best ball.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right. Well, that I guess so. To lock up my list, I've got McCarthy, JJ McCarthy. I have Jaden Higgins, Bashaw Tootin, Torrey Horton, and then that 3 pack there: Brashard Smith, Woody Marks, and JCM. Who's your 5 guys?
So it's Tillman and Dylan Sampson from the Browns. It's Ferguson and Jaden Blue from the Cowboys. And then my 5th one was why am I
Calvin
drawing a blank?
Austin the
Calvin
third.
Austin. Again, he's someone I should have mentioned later. I just thought it was funny because he was the third. Calvin Austin the third, and he was the third one. I tried to make a funny joke there.
I
Didn't really
appreciate the
land.
segue.
I know I tried. It's a dad joke that went awful, but no. The other 4 that were mentioned besides Calvin, I definitely like. I'll probably be drafting consistently, but Calvin Austin is someone I've drafted a lot in best ball, and I just think he's someone we'll be watching later on.
Keenan Allen would have been my honorable mention at this point. Now that he's going to the Chargers.
Oh, he's up. He's so high up in draft boards now. He will be. It's crazy.
I mean, as of now, again, this doesn't have a lot of drafts under the belt, but Sleeper's going in the 15th, ESPN the 12th, Yahoo the 11th. So he's going to be climbing fast.
As someone who is currently active in about 55 slow drafts, he is. You will not get him past the 11th round if you have a lot of sharks in your league. So
That's best ball. And folks, we play with casuals. We play with the office. We play with the family. They don't know what they're doing. You do. That's why you're listening to this show. That's why you're liking, subscribing, leaving us comments, leaving us reviews, whether you're here on YouTube or over there on the podcast forums, Apple, Spotify, all that fun stuff. Make sure you're sharing for you, coming at you 3 days a week, all the way through the preseason, the regular season. We've got lots of fun stuff for you. It's at too much _ Brian if you're looking for me. At too much Brian on everything but X. Brennan, where you at?
I am at too much B milk on X, and then Brian, you got to tell him about our listener league.
Oh, damn straight. We got to tell you about the listener league because we forget to do it at the beginning of almost every show. Yes, it's going to be a free league to come hop in, play with us. The champion gets $100, and again, yes, it's free. All you got to do, leave us a comment, drop us below, let us know that you want to play. We'll get you hooked up on our sleeper league for our listener league. But that's all we got, man. We got to get out of here.
Let's do it.
Shut this bitch down. We'll get out of here. Close it up. We'll see y'all next time.